witty, thick-headed bit about violence and crime. Hello everyone, and welcome back down here to the Gamer's Den, with me, your host, Jordan, your master of lore and storyteller extraordinaire. We're still talking about the first edition Pathfinder Vigilante, today talking about their Vigilante talents. And much like with the social talents, there's a lot to really like here. I mean, there's so much utility both in and outside of combat, or utility and combat kind of mixed together with some of these, and these will do a lot for you. It's just a question of which ones do you want to emphasize more, and are you going to pick out being an Avenger Vigilante or a Stalker Vigilante, because that imposes some limitations as well. But before we get into all of that, if you're new here to the channel, then go on down there, hit the subscribe button, and become a regular member here at the Gamer's Den. Or, if you've already gone on ahead and enlisted yourself on such an incredible roster of legendary heroes, then go on down to hit the like button and share the video far and wide. But now let's actually dig in and start unpacking some of these Vigilante talents. And we're going to start things off with Lethal Grace. You gain Weapon Finesse as a bonus feat. If you already have it, swap that Weapon Finesse for another weapon with which you could pick up Weapon Finesse for. When using Weapon Finesse to make attack rolls with dexterity to hit and strength on damage, add 1/2 your Vigilante level to the damage. So this makes low strength builds much more viable. Hell, even if you have a good strength score, this is just more icing on the cake. This is damage upon damage and does a lot for you. In particular, imagine if you're a 2-weapon fighting build and you went with Stalker, so you had that precision damage, and now you're adding half your Vigilante level to all of those attack rolls, well, to all of those damage rolls. That's a lot for you to pump out there in a very, very short amount of time. Then the next talent is Armor Skin. No longer apply armor check penalties to acrobatics, escape artists, and stealth while wearing light or medium armors. And by 8th level, you move full speed in these armors. So, medium armor, some of them can impose a -10 speed penalty to your character, and then the utility portion of this is just not applying armor check penalties to acrobatics, escape artists, or stealth. Stealth in particular being especially important. Acrobatics is a little bit more iffy on how frequently it comes up, but when it does come up, it is massively important that you don't fail those rolls. Escape artists, you have lots of magical means at your disposal with your party or with use magic device for making your escapes, so maybe not as important, but still, it's not bad to have that penalty negated there. Certainly it is helpful. But then we go on from there to the next one, which is Close the Gap. At the start of your turn, each round, designate a foe within 20 feet that isn't adjacent to you. When you move, you provoke no attacks of opportunity from that foe, so long as you end your movement adjacent to them. And if you charge, you don't take the -2 penalty to your armor class on any attacks made by the target. That's pretty significant overall, negating attacks of opportunity and also negating that -2 penalty to your armor class. That's great, especially since you're most likely going to be using this to move towards important targets that really need to be taken down fast, especially if you couldn't take them by surprise initially. Then we go on to the next talent, which is Cunning Feint. Feint as a move action, or the first attack as part of a full attack action. At 8th level, when the Vigilante successfully feints, the foe is denied their dexterity bonus to armor class against all attacks directed at them until the Vigilante's next turn. So not only are you putting them off balance for yourself and denying them their dex bonus to armor class, but you're doing that for everybody that might be attacking them. So if you're paired up with a rogue or a ninja, they are going to love you for this, because now they are getting their extra damage dice out, their sneak attacks, and you're gonna really pile on a lot of hurt very fast to an opponent. Then we have Mad Rush. When you charge, you make a full attack. When you use this, take a -4 penalty to armor class until the start of the next turn, in addition to the -2 from charging. Only an Avenger Vigilante of 12th level can take this. So Combining this with the previous talent of Close the Gap, we can negate that -2 penalty from charging, but that -4 penalty to AC will remain because that's not necessarily from charging, that's from this specific ability of Mad Rush. That said though, being able to negate your opponent's ability to make attacks of opportunity against you does limit limit the amount of damage that they can inflict that would otherwise be available to them. That, and being able to charge and make a full attack, combining that with Lethal Grace and some of the other options that you're going to have available to you, means you are going to do a ton of damage, especially since you can do a full attack action and do a cunning feint and deny them their armor class or their dex bonus to armor class and really make them vulnerable to a lot of different people. So again, the combination possibilities here are just amazing. The next talent I wanted to point out is Evasive. Gain the Evasion ability and at 12th level, gain Improved Evasion. Only a Stalker can select this talent. So Evasion is just awesome in and of itself, adding on a little kicker bonus to your dexterity saving throws for area of effect attacks and the like Fireball. Negating that damage all the way around is always going to be useful and really helps increase your survivability, given that a lot of enemy creatures, enemy casters love throwing out their blasting spells, all their different area of effect attacks. So this will be very useful for you, especially since only Stalkers can pick it up. This helps to make the Stalker Vigilante really survivable. And then the next option is Signature Weapon. Gain weapon focus for a weapon type you select. If you already have weapon focus for that weapon, gain it for another weapon. At 8th level, gain weapon specialization for your weapon focus selection. Only an Avenger can select this talent. So I like this one because it's 2 feats for a talent. Now, there are still plenty of other really good talents out there, but this is handy because this will help to increase your ability to hit and your damage output, and it's open to the Stalker or Avenger. So all of your different surprise attacks and precision damage dice, the amount of things that you can do with this, the way you can combo everything together, stacking on all those other little bit of increments of damage will really be massively useful, aside from the fact that you're just doing more damage, which is good on the face of itself, all on its own. But of course, then we have one more talent to go over today, and that is Vital Punishment. Gain Vital Strike as a bonus feat, even if you don't meet the requirements. Once per round, before making an attack of opportunity, you can declare it as a Vital Punishment and apply Vital Strike when you hit. You can apply Improved and Greater Vital Strike as Vital Punishment if you get them later. You have to be level 6 to select this. Now, imagine that you're using a polearm of some kind, and you have, let's say, combat reflexes with this high dexterity build. This gives you a pretty significant area of control, and because you can do this once per round, applying Vital Strike as part of an attack of opportunity, you can do a lot of damage to a target who's either trying to get away from you or is trying to otherwise get by you. The area of control that you have will allow you to effectively do a lot of area denial to a lot of opponents and just mete out so much damage. Now, that using a polearm definitely will favor high strength builds as well, getting that strength and a half bonus to the damage. But even if you don't go with the high strength option, just having Vital Strike going on as well as the Lethal Grace talent, adding in half your class level to damage, does a lot. Joining me now is my most adorable co-host, Nora. She has a beautiful hairstyle. Come over here and let me have a better look, little one.
That is Jasmine's hair.
It does look like Jasmine's hair, doesn't it? Can we come take a look, please?
Yeah.
Can you show? Is it okay if we show everyone?
Yeah.
You say hello? There's nobody there right now. We're recording, but look at how beautiful your hair is. Oh my goodness. This is the Journeyman Storyteller and Initiate to the 7th Circle of Lore. How old are you now?
Still 4.
You're still 4? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to turn 5 again. I was 5 this month, but I'm going to turn 5 again.
I see.
I'll turn to 5 again. I'm going to be 5 again.
You're going to be 5 again. That's awesome.
Yeah?
Yes, it is. All right, but that wraps it up today
So
for the...
everybody, I'm going gonna turn 5 again. Tell everybody.
She's going to turn 5 again, everybody. That about wraps things up for the Vigilante talents. Let me know your thoughts down below. What are some talents that you might make suggestions of? I'm debating as to whether or not I'm going to try to cover a few more myself or move on from here. Certainly there's just so much to really like. Even the ones that are less mechanically effective still fit the overall feeling and fluff that you would expect a Vigilante to have. And there are options that let you do things like pick different combat feats as well, which just opens up your...
a guinea pig soon?
A guinea pig soon. That would make a good familiar, huh?
Dad, when my hamster dies, we can have a guinea pig.
Yes, that's true.
When my hamster dies, it's gonna be the guinea pig soon.
Go on. You know what? I am happy that you have plans for moving forwards. Let's just not be in too much of a hurry for that, okay? Let's enjoy our time with Rika. Does that sound like a good plan?
I got a petition.
Yep. Let me know your thoughts down below, and remember, if you're new here to the channel, go on down and hit the subscribe button. Thank you all so much for your time, and you all have yourselves a good night.
I want to tell you something.
Yes, Nora?
I have a